I was watching this video earlier about not getting approached too often by R.C. Blakes. And one thing I can say, when you're a woman or a man, like relationships, as much as people get into them and hop in and out of them, they're very serious. Like, really, when somebody comes into your life or when you come into somebody else's life, y'all are really auditioning for like a position of power in that person's life. You know what I mean? Because we want people to care about us and we want to care about people. And when I was younger, I would see people like hop in and out of relationships with each other. I'm like, somebody has to be lying. There is no way you like all these people. But some people do. Like, if you think about it, like your romantic partner has more power than your friends over you. Because eventually y'all are going to get to that part where no friend is really supposed to go, you know, like no friend can get in your body if that's your friend, you know, your friend. But the video I was watching basically was like, you know, don't feel bad if a lot of people aren't approaching you. And I'll say this too, don't feel bad, because I've seen people get destroyed by relationships and then hop into another one and get destroyed more and more by that one. And influence is almost like an echo. You know, like people's voices can have power over you for years and years and years, even to when they're not there. You're still feeling their influence after they're gone. And if you've had a lot of romantic partners, more than likely you've had a lot of influences, depending on how strong that influence was when you were with that person. You know what I mean? And I feel like most people can say that, like, regardless of who they've dated, you're not the same after getting out of that relationship. So I'm thinking of it like this, like it's not necessarily bad to not have certain people approach you and ask for that position of power. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it is okay for somebody just to look at you and stare and admire from a distance, or feel too scared to approach at all. Like the older I get and the more I've experienced, that slow burn love is not that bad. Not everybody needs to be in a position of power just so you can feel a certain way about the way you look. It's really an ego thing as to why we want everybody to look at us like, oh, I'm cute. But it's not necessary. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you're thinking a certain way and you start to feel bad, you have to think about the necessity of what you want. Because not everything is necessary. Getting a certain amount of attention can really be detrimental if you're not ready for it and you can't handle it. Not everybody's approaching, not because you don't look a certain type of way. Sometimes you're not people's type, and that's okay. Because not everybody's your type. And you got to remember that. But you're somebody's type, and you got to think, like, at the end of the day, I'm somebody's type, and I'm also not somebody's type. So who's wrong? It's opinion based. And there's certain influences that you cannot take out of your mouth. Not on your own, that is. So sometimes the best thing that God does for us is not to introduce us to those things at all. Or those things will turn away from us before we even get a chance to, you know, kind of be swayed. There's this quote by Miles Monroe that says, when the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable. I hope I quoted that right. But sometimes when people don't understand you, they mishandle you. And that doesn't mean they're always evil or just rude. Sometimes people are just mishandling you because they don't know how to handle a person like you. So they handle you the same way they handle everybody else, even though you're made different and you're supposed to be handled in a certain way. You're like fine china and they've been used to handling paper plates, you know? And I don't say that in a way, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But just seriously, like some people have to be held differently than other people because they're made different.